Peace and blessings, and welcome to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial literacy and credit repair world. Open your wallet to receive money instead of paying bills. To do that, cleaning your credit will help you get out of debt. To clear that debt, you can contact Transparent Credit Repair at www.transparentcreditrepair.com, or you can call them at 862-250-5122 and tell them Heritage Hip Hop sent you and get a surprise in the transaction. This episode, we talked to somebody who was at Hip Hop's foundation, who came in with the original Zulus and helped make his own movement out of the hip hop culture. That is Ron B. Stinker Savage, a councilman in the New York State government who was a facilitator of laws to help children and people who have gone through some tough times in their lives. From carrying crates to help legislation and law creation, Ron B. Stinker Savage is someone we need to get to know and learn how hip-hop is bigger than music. It's also in politics and changing the way we look at the world. Pay attention, this is a special one, and I'll come back with the rest of my commentary after he's finished talking.
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. And part of hip hop that I think is missing is paying homage to the people who helped put hip hop on the map. And tonight, I have somebody who not only put hip hop on the map, but elevated what hip hop is in the community. Please introduce yourself to the people.
This is Ron B. Stinger Savage.
It's a pleasure and an honor to get to talk to you, and more so because not only for who you are, but how you can detail and teach me about the culture that helped make me who I am today. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk to you.
Yeah, no doubt. Much respect.
I don't ask people what got them into hip-hop or how it started in their lives and everything, because those are stories you can see in every documentary and hear in every conversation. I want to ask you, when you finally got hip to the hip-hop culture or the budding hip-hop culture, what was it and how did it pull you in?
Oh, man. It's like, when I was younger, I was like in junior high school. And, I had heard about, DJs playing in the park and all that stuff. And, I was like kind of interested, in it. And then my cousin, she had went with a guy named Curtis, and Curtis was part of a group called the Crazy 8 Zulu Crew,
Right.
and so that was one of the Zulu Nation groups, So that's how I first got introduced to hip hop, and I used to go with my cousins and to the parties, and Lisa Lee, that was one of the Zulu Nation's MCs, Bambaataa, Red Alert, and all them. She was like one of the first female MCs, Lisa Lee. So her and my cousin, they used to say that they were cousins, So that's how I got introduced to hip hop and to know what it was. And then fast forward a few years after that, then this girl in my building, she had went with DJ Jazzy J. Jazzy J, that's the Zulu Nation's DJ. That was Africa Bambaataa's DJ. So when she met him, Jazzy, he inherited me because I was like, like their little brother. You know what I'm saying? So, I used to pal around, with Jazzy and stuff, and I used to be on the stage with Jazzy. And then, I was, one of the crate boys for Jazzy. And for, the younger audience who don't know what crate boy is, that was back in the days, we used to carry, the crates. The crates is the milk carts. They used to have the records in it, and when the DJ, would tell us like what record, to get out the crate, we would look in it and then give it to them, So, crate boys back then, had a lot of Jews. We used to give out the flyers to the parties and stuff. That's how we got the girl.
Oh, okay. So are you talking about 83, 84?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Way back then, with, groups like the Cold Crush Brothers, the Funky Four, the Fantastic Five, the L Brothers, one of the originals, you know?
See, that's important for me to find out because that's a little before my time. I heard of that, but I never experienced it. And plus, I've never been in that New York culture like that. I'm sure if I would have been able to go to New York back then, even as a young man, I probably would have moved to New York and fell in love with a girl from New York. You know what I'm saying? Because when you hear about those days and those times, even though the street was still present, people got together for peace and unity, and it was a good time seeing the break dances, the wild styles, the Planet Rocks and things, and you go, damn, I wish I could experience that. What is it?
What crew, you know?
Yeah, Crazy Legs and them. And I mean, what was it like to be in the element? Because look, we always talk about back then, and y'all don't know, and we could always, like, I could watch Wild Style, I could watch Video Music Box, I could watch that, but that doesn't bring the atmosphere and the element to it. What was the atmosphere and the element of early hip hop like?
Oh man, it was like it was a great feeling, you know, and you know it was new, and you know when I used to go, you know, to Bronx River Center, you know, and look at Crazy Legs and them break dancing and stuff, you know, it was cool, man. You know it was totally different than the way it is now, you know, and it was all about, you know, peace, love, and having fun. It was, you know, it was just about, you know, just having fun. You know what I'm saying? And it was a really good experience, you know, to be a part of that culture and to see, you know, the DJs and stuff, you know, playing in the parks and stuff. And this was, you know, before hip hop even had the name hip hop. You know what I'm saying? It was just like jamming in the park, you know what I'm saying? And how hip hop got its name was through Keith Cowboy. That was one of Grandmaster Flash's MC. And you know, because he used to say hip hop, you know, hip hop on the mic, hip hop, hop, you know, and that's how, you know, Africa Bambaataa started and named this culture hip hop, you know, and hip hop culture, you know, so and that's how it began.
As an architect, or one of the architects that helped put what we celebrate worldwide today, I want to ask you, as the culture began to groom itself, how did the MC, in your opinion, become as prominent as the DJ and then surpass it?
You know, and that's crazy because back in the days, it wasn't about the MC. It was about the DJ. You know what I'm saying? It was all about the DJ back then. And I believe, you know, when it started about the MCs, you know, and stuff, oh man, I think, to be honest, I think maybe a little earlier. I think this was maybe like the late 80s when the Sugar Hill Gang when they did the first rap record. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that's when they started really paying attention to the MCs and stuff when rap got on records, you know, because
so when it went corporate.
Before that time, it was all about the DJs, you know, like Grand Wizard did, or you know, people would want to come to the parties to see the DJs. Me, I like the Cold Crush Brothers because they back then that was like my favorite group, and that's still my favorite group now. But yeah, I think once rap became on records, I think that's when it switched to the MCs. Everyone, you know, now looking at the MCs, and they just totally forgot about the DJs.
We're going to touch on that point back at the end of the interview, because me, I get excited when I learn about the 80s culture, because in the 80s, I was a young boy. I mean, that was He-Man, Transformers for me. That was little kid stuff. So to be in junior high and to be able to appreciate the first real age after Grandmaster Flowers and to see the Park Jams, Herc, Bambaataa, and Flash, and there was others that probably people don't even know about. Those times have been documented in like the Get Down TV show. There was a rehashing of Wild Style because people wanted to go back and see that again. And you were front line when it came to see everything come to play. I want to ask you an MC question about the 80s, though, that always perplexed me. We always talk about Busy B and Kool Moe Dee, right?
Right.
That's the changing of the guard. KRS-One said, hip hop, the hippie to the bars. Because it seemed like Kool Moe Dee was the author of bars. I want to ask you a question. What made Grandmaster Caz and Melly Mel stand out?
It was just their style, their style of rapping, and like with Melly Mel, he was different. Like when his raps, it was like telling stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man, like he would rap and tell like a story. Everybody else back then would rap and it'll be like a party rap. You know what I'm saying? Like throw your hands in the air. You know what I'm saying? And like crowd participation. But Melly Mel and like the Cold Crush, Grandmaster Caz, their rhymes was just so different from everybody. It was like they were like storytellers,
So Grandmaster Caz didn't do the party rhyme. He did a structured rhyme. And then Melly Mel took it to another level by elevating it with story rap that had a message. Into the message itself, right? And then Shaka Khan, doing Shaka Khan, he had a melody even with that, right? As you've seen the MC become prominent, of course the culture had to adapt and change. How are you a part of the change? And what was that change exactly?
I think the change came Melly Mel with the message. I think that was the beginning of the changing of hip hop itself.
Okay.
And the 90s.
Oh yeah, we already know what the 90s represents. Yeah. We know. I think the 90s is the only decade in hip hop that had 3 or 4 different personalities.
There will never be another 90s ever again.
I agree. But when I ask you about the change, I'm not only talking about the MC, I mean the culture. What did you see in the 90s that changed the culture, and how were you a part of that?
Back then, it's like, I remember the clothes and just the whole. I used to. I back in the 90s, I used to work for Dick Scott Entertainment, and we used to manage we used to manage Showbiz and AG. Showbiz and AG. That's part of DITC. Digging in the Grades with Fat Joe, Big L, Diamond D, Lord Finesse. You know what I'm saying? And just that click alone, you know what I'm saying? It's the way they rap was different from when we started hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And I think then just watching them and like Masters of Ceremony, the Masters of Ceremony, that's Grand Poobah. That's Grand Poobah's first group.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And just watching them, it's just I believe that's when the style like really started like really changing and the whole culture itself. You know what I'm saying? And I sat there and I watched it from the 80s to the 90s to even now, and it's just like it just kept growing and growing and changing. I guess it just changed with the times.
I mean, yeah, I agree. Because even when Poobah first came out, Poobah was nice. Nobody was touching Poobah. And even Poetic, when he first came out, before the Gravediggers movement and everything, Poetic and Poobah were like crazy with it because they brought style, wordplay, and even their voices changed. So it wasn't a mellow, one-tone rap. You see what I'm saying? Even them, I think they were ushers in with the guard. And then, but you said something very key. You said around that time you started managing. So you seen that hip hop went from street level entertainment to corporate executive money grabs, right? And Bambaataa and Zulu Nation is known for the coining the term the pillars of hip hop, right? And and what hip hop meant for the community at that time. When did you see the pillars being lost and something new coming out?
When what?
When did you see the pillars get lost? People stopped acknowledging the pillars, and then hip hop changed from the loss of the pillars. Was it in the 90s, you think?
I believe in the 90s.
Yeah. And what do you think led to it? Like, what happened, you think? Besides corporate America. I mean, that's the answer to everything, but, you know what I'm saying? But what else did you see?
I just seen, I mean, it just changed with the time, you know, the rap styles had changed, and I guess people had got tired of, not really tired, let me not say tired. It just changed from the first style when, you know, when it was developed, you know, and, you know, when you had the 90s, it just kept, you know, telling stories and you know, it just elevated to like messages and stuff, you know. It's just no one really wanted to hear partying anymore, you know. It was just a change, and that started in the 90s.
Elevation is always going to be geared towards of the community and the culture based on what they go through. In the 80s, hip hop was nigga music. That's what it was called, because it was people from the inner city crying out for attention because they were tired of violence and they were tired of being taken for granted. I remember seeing in the Bronx, Ronald Reagan came to petition for voters, and when the voters came to talk to him, he got pissed at them because they were talking about how America was unfair and he did not want to hear their voices. Ed Koch the same way. Am I right?
I ain't like Ed Koch.
I know.
He was the same way.
He was the same way. And in the 90s, those children of the 80s got pissed. So while the older guard wanted to change life so that they could have something for the youth took that poverty and made it into anger. And the 90s is when street music first came in. My question to you, being one of the people I would look to for knowledge on the changes of hip hop is this. As the street music came in to take over the 90s, how did New York adapt to jump into the corporate lane to save the culture from people just putting money into it?
Man, truthfully, man, like when rap started getting on records and changing and the music industry stole it from the pioneers. It just changed, man, and you know, just people just started acting funny, you know, different, and I mean, and the music industry, when they got involved, they really didn't to me care about, you know, the culture part. You know, it was just about money. It was just money to them and what can sell. You know what I'm saying? And to me, when things started really changing from, like, you know, from the Grand Poobahs and the Showbiz and AG and the Fat Joes, is you know, when the West Coast got involved, NWA and what is it, NWA, when they was like, you know, fuck the police and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, and they seen that, especially on the West Coast, that the people were into that, and they started selling. And that's what the music industry wanted. They wanted that type of stuff, you know, with the bang bang shoot 'em up and the drugs and stuff like that. And that's when the real culture, you know, just was lost.
I get it, because I mean,
the beginning of hip hop was just so lost, you know, when the music industry took over.
I get it, because that's called corporate espionage. is looking to see what you could take control of, and then getting something that you can make money from and promote it to be the highest thing. And since New York is the media capital, the West Coast was brand new. So they used the newness to phase out what's considered quote unquote old to get their own. Because the West Coast did not ruin hip hop, and the West Coast hip hop is dope. There's a lot of MCs from the West Coast that I like. But even what we're talking about, people from your guard got into the music industry because, like you said, you became a manager. People became they had endorsements, joining Zulu Nation. So didn't people from the West Coast become Zulus? As people from other parts of the country start rapping, didn't they become Zulus, and that helped get even that worldwide or nationwide?
Yeah, I mean, man, like, shoot, the Zulu Nation, you got like Queen Latifah, she's part of Zulu. You have Ice Cube, you know, Ice-T, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, they all are part of Zulu.
Word. You know, as a kid, it was always my goal to try to be a part of Zulu Nation. For real. That was a goal of mine. Like, I really wanted to meet them, especially when I was in college, because it's like you can't love hip hop and not pay dues to want to know who's who. You know, and I know some Zulu Nation members, but I've never been grafted in, which is still a goal of mine, somewhat, but you know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Coming from that background though, you grew up in a culture that came from the street, abandoned in the city on a mainstream level, and now the mainstream is being used to heal the world. Are you proud of hip-hop and how the message of hip-hop has matured?
I'm not fond of the music today.
Okay.
Because hip-hop is very powerful, and the messages that they're sending out today is wrong to me. You know what I'm saying? I think they should have more positive images on the videos and their message. I believe, you know, all of this bang bang shoot 'em up and calling out the women their names and glorifying the street. I believe if that was never put on wax, I think I think the streets would be better. I really think so. You know, if they just would have kept hip hop parties and not just, you know, all of this nonsense that's going on with hip hop today, you know, with the disrespect and making the streets like it's like the thing. Like if you ain't out there, you know, selling drugs, or you ain't out there carrying a gun, then like, you know, you really ain't rocking. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that's not what hip hop is about. That was never, you know, hip hop. But in today's world, that's hip hop. That's hip hop for them. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the true essence of hip hop. Hip hop is about peace and having fun. You know what I'm saying? It's not about bang bang shoot 'em up. That's not hip hop. That's rap.
I'm glad you said that, because I think hip hop is in a good place. I just don't see it from how you see it. And the reason why I think it is in a good place is not because of music. I think it's because we, as people of color, have a better understanding of how to take control of what we create as art. The problem is not a lot of people in hip hop are artists. They're just participants. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay. So then let's look at it this way. If Bam, if Flash, if Herc, if they knew how to create LLCs and make businesses, do you think hip hop would be in a better place if they had control ownership of it?
I believe so.
And see, that knowledge is accessible now when it was hard to attain that knowledge back then. You see what I'm saying? Even with it was a prophecy in the late 90s, maybe like 96, 97, 98 time, when they said about people talking about the machine and the Illuminati and real hip hop was going to go underground and you're going to have to find it. And that happened. So We still have artists out that have the party message or the feel-good message. It's just that since hip-hop went mainstream and corporate wanted money, and you have a lot of people who sell their souls for money, they're being given to us on the mainstream media instead of us being able to hold on to the culture and have knowledge of them. As an architect of this game, I want to ask you about technology before we go back to maturity. Do you think the internet actually helped hip hop, or do you think it hinders hip hop, or both?
I think it helps. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because it's the internet is global. You know what I'm saying? And these days, truthfully, you don't even need a record company to put out music. You have the internet, you have social media, these days you have the independent artists who's selling crazy records without a record company. So I definitely think that it does more good than I guess harm.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why I think it hurt it and it helped it, but more so, it gave accessibility to people. And for me, what it did for me, I'm not a fan of Google, but I appreciate Google's power because now I get to go back and hear things through YouTube or old recordings of Cold Crush. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I met MC Debbie D of Us Girls, and seeing the movie's one thing, but to hear it and then meet her is another thing. So it gave us accessibility. The thing that I love about the internet and things is people can see the maturity of hip-hop through where people of good standing in the culture has made differences. We have Andre Rainey. I don't know if you know him. He's the mayor of Peekskill, New York. He's a hip-hop artist, the youngest mayor of Peekskill, New York, and the second African-American mayor of the city. That's huge to see an MC in government. You have Ras Baraka, the mayor of Newark, son of Amiri Baraka. That's hip-hop, whether you want it to be or not, because spoken word is a part of the culture. And in Newark, New Jersey, we also had Dupree Keller, Do It All Do, who ran for councilman. You've also taken rank within government to show that hip-hop not only is more than music, but it is the maturing voice of the inner city. Why did you get into government and want to take it there and show the maturity of yourself and the culture?
You mean when I got into politics?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Everybody always asks me, how did I get from hip-hop to politics?
I think it's a natural progression. I really think it is. Because, I mean, as you think about it, let me just put it like this. I'm going to give you my definition of hip-hop, and I want you to just add in with your story. I don't think hip-hop is music. I don't think hip-hop is a culture in the way people understand it. Because if you look at a culture, people be like, what's our traditions? What's our flag? What's our laws? What's our blah, 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 blah. And when I think about it, when I really did some research within my own personal soul, and look, I can be wrong. I don't mind being wrong, because that means I can be taught. A fool doesn't want to be taught. I believe hip-hop really is God. Because if you want to break it down in musical terms, we write notes on lines. Those lines are called steps. Our steps are our journey through life. That's a life term. The heart is the drum that gives the rhythm of life to your body. The drum is the heart of the beat. Without drums, the beat has no life. We have body systems, lymphatic, respiratory, reproductive. Like, those systems work together to give our body health and balance. Balance is another word for harmony. When you make music, you're looking for harmony because the sounds have to blend into one feeling. So those are godly terms. That's natural life. So when I look at the progression of hip-hop, as you become mature or elder statesmen, you're going to look out for others. And the one way that we look out for our people is to take forms of power, government, officials, businessmen, teachers. A lot of MCs are professors. So if you are in hip hop and you really loved it, whether you were an entrepreneur who opened their own business, a teacher, or somebody who got in the government to look out for the youth, since hip hop is powered by the youth, I think that's natural progression. What do you say?
Yeah, I hear you, and I agree like 100%. 100%, you know.
Mm-hmm. So tell us, like, how do you go from the bee stinger to a member of the New York State Democratic Committee? That's huge.
I know everybody always asks me. Man, that's just crazy. You know, I was in hip hop, and back then, you know, I had wanted to start an organization because I had wanted to do more stuff for the community, you know, because you know, I was in hip hop and you know, managing the different groups, like Dougie Fresh, a group called Snap. They made the record I Got the Power. You remember I Got the Power?
I remember the issue with Chill Rob G. I remember all that. Yeah.
So, you know, and then, you know, going around on tour to, you know, to the different cities, different states, different countries, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, being out there, you know, going to the different communities and stuff, I had, you know, just grew a love for community involvement. So, you know, that's when I wanted to do like my own organization. So I had started a 501c3 organization, and it was called United Coalition Association. And I started doing like health fairs, college fairs, and just out there in the community, you know, getting speed bumps in areas and getting trash cans in different areas. So when you start a nonprofit organization and when you start getting funding, you know, from elected officials, you know, like when you get funding from elected officials, your organization automatically, you know, the politicians, you know, they want their name on, you know, on the different things that you do. Like if you do like a college fair, you know, they want their name, you know, on on the flyer or whatever, or endorsed by, you know, because it makes them look good, because it makes them look like they're doing it, but, you know,
they're part of the people,
because it's their money, but it's really you doing it. You know what I'm saying? And once you take money from these politicians, they kind of like own you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how I, you know, got involved in politics. You know, I was involved with Assemblyman Petty Rivera. We were doing like, you know, different things in the community, and I had such a big name in the streets in New York. He asked me that I want to run for state committee. I didn't even know what that was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was like, yeah, okay. You know, because he was like, yeah, you know, it's a lower level to elected official. But he said it's a nice position. So, you know, a member of the Democrat State Committee, it's like, okay, you know, when someone says that the governor got the nomination from the Democratic Party, you know, you ask yourself, you say, oh, well, I'm a Democrat and I didn't do anything. Those are your state committee members. You know, they in each assembly district, they have like a female and a male state committee member who represents that district on behalf of all the Democrats in that district. So you could be representing like 100,000 people. You know what I'm saying? So with just your vote, you know what I'm saying, you just gave, you know, the nomination on behalf of all the people in that district. You know what I'm saying? And that's what,
I understand.
That's what state committee members do. So they do that on a state level. So when state elected officials, you know, they want the nomination. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
they start, you know, giving you money and doing, you know, little things, you know, to help you, you know, in the community because they want you to vote for them. You know what I'm saying? So
Of course.
that's how I got involved.
But see, that's a big deal because you said low-level official. That's still a level of power because you still work with the people.
Very big is a very big position, very position of power.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, okay, the state committee, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Democrats, because it's the Democrat state committee. The state committee sets the agenda for the Democratic Party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I was on the resolution committee, you know, so, you know, when we pass a resolution, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's telling the elected officials, okay, this is what we, you know, this is what we want. This is what we need you guys to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you know, the state committee sets the agenda and the policies for the Democratic Party.
Right.
So that is a very big position.
Excellent. And see, that's the thing. That's why I love this conversation because heritage hip hop is not about just beats and rhymes. It's about, like I said, if God is hip hop, then we have to talk about all things that accomplish and affects and inspires the hip hop nation. And one of those things is when you're in power, you use your power to make change and to help those who are behind you coming up. You have done things in with your elected power that not only has changed the game, but you've made sure that you are protecting people with that power. Talk about the Child Victims Act in New York State and how you are a part of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, I was a part, you know, of the Child Victim Act, and the Child Victim Act is, you know, when you're if you ever been, you know, molested when you were younger, you know, you back then you had up until the age of 23 to press charges against the person who molested you when you were a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know you have up until the age of 23 to press charges criminally, and up to the age of 23 for monetary damage. So
Okay.
you know, a lot of people who's been molested when they were younger, they don't really report it. You know what I'm saying? Until they get older.
Okay.
You know, so the topic of you know, we were able to push criminally up the age of 23 to 28. And
I'm missing you right now. Some of that stuff that you said got cut off. Say it again, please. Your signal went out.
Oh, no, I was saying, with the Child Victim Act, you know, you had up until the age of 23 to report, as you know, if anyone, you know, had molested you, you know, when you were younger. Once you got up to the age of 23, it was nothing that can be done criminally. You know what I'm saying? And if you wanted to sue the person who molested you when you were younger, this is in New York. You had up until the age of 23. So the Child Victim Act, we were able to bring criminally the age up from the age of 23 to 28, and monetary damage, we were able to bring that up from the age of 23 to 55. And it's a big ordeal because, you know, the age of 23 here in New York, it's been that way forever. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we were trying to do away with the age period. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, we wanted to be like, you know, at any age you can report this, but you know, we were glad to bring it up from the age of 23 to 28, and monetary to sue someone. You know, we brought it up from the age of 23 to 55. So I'm very proud of that.
I want to ask a question because I don't think it would be wise or representative of me to not ask this question. And my heart goes out to anybody who's been a victim of any type of wrong to their person, sexual, physical, psychological, because sexual or being, especially as a child, whenever you're a victim of something physical or sexual, it can mess with the mind as well, and that's very hard to overcome. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
I want to ask you a question. Why was 23 the age given, and why did it have to be raised from 23? Like, what does the person, or why was 23 that target age? And like, I understand that you wanted to add more time to it because that person could be dealing with something, but why that age and why take it to almost 30? Like, please give me that understanding from a political point of view so that me as a person who's in society can agree, disagree, whatever, and understand the meaning of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, that age, you know, that was set like decades ago, the age
Mm-hmm.
of 23. I don't know why they had it to the age of 23, but, you know, we were able to get it to the age of 28 because, when they started doing, research on, people that's been molested, they seen that, you know, people didn't start reporting them until they were in their 20s,
Yeah.
you know, and, so, you know, we was trying to do away with the age period,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and the Republicans, they, you know, they didn't want to do away with, you know, with age period. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, we negotiated it and, we settled at the age of 28, you know, and then the age of 55 for, monetary, damage. You know, if it was up to us, we, you know, the Child Victim Act, you know, the people who are part of it, you know, it wouldn't have been no age. It wouldn't have been no age. You could have been able to report it in any time, you know, but that was the elected officials.
Word. Being that you've touched politics, I want to ask you this question. As hip-hop evolves, we have people who are in political chairs who listen to hip-hop music. So now we hear and see hip-hop everywhere. Like ESPN, Stuart Scott is the author of hip-hop on ESPN. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the hood, we would not have certain slang words used on ESPN by Dick Vitale and people like that. In the classrooms, we have hip-hop in the classroom with Knife Wonder and Christopher Martin of Kid and Play doing teaching courses. Even Nas's Illmatic is being taught in school. Now, we even see Kanye West, who's trying to put in for presidential nomination through his new political party, the Birthday Party. My question is, do you think one day we'll have a hip-hop president?
Yeah, but it ain't gonna be Kanye West.
I hope not. And that's no disrespect to Kanye, but I don't see Kanye running this country successfully. I'm good.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I mean, shoot, I mean, if anyone puts their mind to it, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, you can be president. Look at Donald Trump.
No. No. I don't even want to use that as an example. No.
You know, and it's crazy, you know, it's crazy that you mentioned, you know, Kanye West, you know, and this is my opinion. You know what I'm saying? This is not the show's opinion. This is my opinion. Kanye West, you know, that's Donald Trump's friend. You know what I'm saying? They're friends. Kanye West, he said it. He just recently said it in an interview. He's a Republican. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say it again. Kanye West is a Republican. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, he is just there to help Donald Trump win re-election because Kanye knows he's not going to be president. The Republican Party is not going to let that happen. You know what I'm saying? And Kanye's just there. I don't know what type of deal that allegedly that him and Donald Trump, because I don't call him my president. Any type of deal that I don't know what type of deal that him and Kanye made, but obviously it was some type of something that was talked about. You know what I'm saying? Because Kanye's only there to pull the votes from Joe Biden to help Donald Trump win re-election. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he's proven that time and time. Every time he wears that red hat, you know, make America great again. You know, it really means make America white again.
Yeah, I ain't even want to touch that right now because we're going to another whole hour and a half because I'm not even going to touch all that. Because, brother, why don't you come on the Mic Council? Heritage Hip Hop has a talk show called the Mic Council, which is our version of The View, The Real, and Red Table Talk, where we have MCs and people from the community come together to talk about the importance of things that go on in our community. The last show we had talked about police brutality, violence in the community. I would love to invite you to come to that show, and we could talk about politics, voting power, and hip-hop's hip-hop representation in such things. Would you accept that invitation?
Yeah, I'm definitely down.
Okay, cool. So you have it out there. It's in the universe. So I am going to remember you and talk to you about this at another point. You know what I'm saying? But see, let's keep it cultural though. And I'm gonna just say this, and then we're gonna move off the topic. I'm not Democrat or Republican because I feel like whatever side of the coin it is, it's the same coin. And I have not seen things come from either party that has helped us in the long run. I don't give a damn if your name is Barack Obama, John F. Kennedy, Herbert Hoover, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington. I don't really see how the inner city gets anything from politics, especially if there's laws written that say anybody of African descent in America will never be a citizen. I think we're fighting the wrong fight, and until those things get changed and taken or ratified out of the law of the country, then we're all we're kicking a dead horse. That's just my opinion. Please prove me wrong. Thank you. So, I mean, if anybody that doesn't agree, please prove us wrong by showing us better and changing the things that were in the foundation of the country that could be amended or ratified. That being said, though you are a political figure and you have a movement that goes outside of just sound, you still find your relevance in the sound because you made the hip-hop movement. Define the hip-hop movement and why it was necessary to make that happen.
Well, you know, the hip hop movement, you know, that started at the beginning, you know, of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, because people came from miles around, you know, to be down with this thing called hip hop. So that's why they say hip hop is a movement, because everyone wanted to be down. Everyone back then wanted to be an MC or a DJ. And hip hop movement, it was a term that we used, you know, to say hip hop, you know, hip hop movement. It was just a term that everyone used. So in the 90s, I sat back and I was like listening to Public Enemy, and I was like, wow, hip hop really is a movement, because I was listening to the consciousness that they did and just the political stance in their music. And then, you know, you had Queen Latifah come out, and you had KRS-One come out. So in the 90s, you know, that's when I sat there and I thought, I was like, wow, hip hop movement. So I really had Public Enemy in my mind. So that's when I said, you know, I came up with the 6 elements of the hip hop movement to give the hip hop movement meaning, because it really didn't have a meaning. You know, so the 6 elements of the hip hop movement is conscious awareness, civil rights awareness, activism awareness, justice, political awareness, and community awareness. You know, that's what the hip hop movement stands for.
And you don't see how you got into politics with with pillars like that, because you're talking about awareness. That's society. So I want to ask you this question then. How do you reach the new generation of artists when, like, the name band and Zulu Nation is big? Like, everybody knows that. How do you reach the new artists and let them know about this so they can obtain and co-sign that too, and they know that it exists?
I had started. Well, I trademarked the name Hip Hop Movement, so I own that now. And
Okay.
you know, a lot of people are really kind of upset with it because I own the name. You know, Hip Hop Movement. You know, they never thought that it could be trademarked, but you know, I had trademarked it. I believe 3 years ago, and to get the hip hop movement out there, I had started a streaming channel. You know what I'm
Nice.
saying? So I have the hip hop movement, which is on Roku TV and on Amazon Fire Stick. You know, so and I have rappers, independent artists that come to me all the time. You know, because it's B Stinger, and I let them know that I would prefer songs that represent the elements of the hip hop movement. You know what I'm saying? And I be trying to get them to to gear towards positivity when you making your music, and and have meaning in your messages, that can, elevate people instead of tearing them down. You know what I'm saying? And hip hop is very powerful. So, when you have your voice, you know what I'm saying, you can really reach a lot of people. So, let's reach a lot of, people on some positivity tip.
I think you should come meet some of our artists, because there's people who have never heard of this movement who are already doing that. And I wonder why, like a J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar or Immortal Technique maybe hasn't worked with you. Because, I mean, especially if you give them that letterhead from the state of New York, that's a big deal, because then you're leveraging your power. And you have something else behind your name that makes them take notice. And I mean, that's a very big deal, because hip-hop has always been the voice of the people. And for people have been calling for hip-hop to be more positive since the mainstream took over. And I love this argument. I have arguments with people all the time who are older than me who said, I don't listen to hip-hop because all it is negativity. And I go, oh, is it really? And then when I bring people up, they have nothing to say, because the mainstream has polluted them so bad that we go back into Rehoboamism. And if you don't know the story of Rehoboam, that's Solomon's son in the Bible, Solomon, the king. When he died, his son took over the kingdom and played the youth against the elders, and then the kingdom split into the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. So the people were split because of dissension, of disrespect from the elders and the youth, and they fought each other. And I think by them rehashing a biblical concept, evil biblical concept, challenging the old versus the young, they were able to keep the community split, and we don't support each other from that. And that's something I would like to see destroyed. Do you agree?
I agree.
So that we need to work together, heritage hip-hop movement, and everybody else who's trying to do something positive for the community worldwide, and make it happen. And if anybody's mad that you trademarked it and they didn't, it's because they're mad they didn't do it first. So at the end of the day, exactly. I'm good, yo. I'm good. So let's give everybody some information. First and foremost, give them your social media and how they could contact you and learn more about you and the movement and what you represent.
As far as like the movement, they can go to hiphopmovement.us. That's the website for Hip Hop Movement, the streaming channel, which is on Roku TV and Amazon. And to know more about B Stinger, Ron Savage, they can go to ronaldsavage.com. Those are the two websites. Or you can go to my the Instagram, which is hiphopmovement.RokuTV.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on my Roku TV right now, and I'm going to download Hip Hop Movement. There's a lot of hip hop channels on Roku TV. And I was thinking about putting Heritage Hip Hop on here, but I don't know. We're pretty solid where we're at for right now. But yes, Hip Hop Movement is on Roku TV. Hip Hop is in black, movement is in red under it, correct?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to that channel right now, and I'm going to give people hip hop movement. I'm going to give people what I see. You have supporters, what's on the grind coming soon, live TV, breaking news, hip hop movement South, movie trailers, the hip hop video show, music videos, an open mic tour, Megastar TV, the Foundation, and DJ K Slay, What's the Science? So it is an official channel, and you can go on your local TV, smart TV, TCL, smart, whatever TV you got, and you can download it as a channel, just like we download Disney Plus, Netflix, and things of that nature. So please, everybody, make sure you support. This interview is not over by far, because now it's time for the rapid fire questions. These are not yes/no questions. These are questions asked to show the depth of your humanity, your understanding of hip-hop culture, and your love of the culture. Not who looks good on Instagram, not for BS, basically. It's just to appreciate you and the culture that you represent. Are you ready for that?
Yep.
All right, I have different questions for you than most people, but I'm gonna mix it in. So my first question is, even though you went into politics, why did you keep music at the heart and continue making music?
Because like I am hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And hip hop is in me. It's always been in me since I was younger, you know, and hip hop, that's all I know.
I feel that because this music that you have out is very 1980s driven. It's like dance and breakbeat music. It's like you're bringing the party back, and even with the vibe that we have, especially in Jersey with Jersey Club and things like that, the children love to dance. I don't know anywhere you go where people don't go, 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 and little kids in diapers just start dancing and getting it moving, you know what I'm saying? It's like the music is the natural expression, like I said, of God and who we are. So why breakbeat music and not something more lyrical driven? Why did you want to take it there?
Because of the music and the rapping of today, you know what I'm saying? Like what I was talking about earlier, you know, nowadays it's all about bang bang, shoot 'em up, and calling out our women, you know, their names and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to, you know, bring back, you know, what hip hop really is. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, you know, I had did the single the way I did it, you know, so that people can really remember what hip hop really is and where hip hop really came from.
Are you looking to do a compilation album with people who make positive music?
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. You know, and you know, I'm working on some new music now, and yeah, we just gonna do it again.
I would like to introduce you to about like 4 artists, maybe no 7 artists, really. And I would like for you to tell me if they represent the hip hop movement and that they are worthy of being on your soundtrack. I would love to see all of you make money with it and show these artists that hip hop is an art that needs to be appreciated again, because we give it away so freely, especially after the mixtape age, and we have middlemen in control of the music instead of us taking control of the music and making it our own again, and reaping the benefits of our hard work and our God-given talent, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, let's go to the next question. And the next question is, what song in hip hop or album perfectly represents you?
Wow. I would say Dougie Fresh.
What song? What song?
Oh man. I don't know, 'cause when I see Dougie, I see me. I would say the show. I would definitely say the show.
Okay. I like that. You're a party man. That's what you're talking about. You like having a good time. Because those snaps and breaks, that, you know, that's not the movement right there. All right, you upstepping from the door, huh?
Yeah, 'cause me, you know, like, you know, what I'm really about, you know, I like to make, you know, people laugh. I like to have fun. You know what I'm saying? And, that's what I am. When I go out, it's like, I'm like the life of the party, trying to make everyone laugh and have a good time. So, that's why I say Dougie Fresh, because, when Dougie's on stage, it's like a party. You know what I'm saying? It's party time. He rocks the crowd, and, that definitely represents who I am.
As hip hop evolves through maturity, we talked about government. Hip hop is going through media change as well. On Heritage Hip Hop, right, we talk about the artists and the music. We've also talked to teachers, morticians, police officers. We talk to people in the community who don't do the music culture as far as making sound. With that, and we also talk to people who do comic books and things. It's called blurred hop. Like, we're really big on that, right? And as hip-hop has matured, we are a media outlet. And I shout out people like Combat Jack, The Company Man, Ambrosia for Heads, Doggy Diamonds TV. Those are people who not only inspired me, Video Music Box too. We're not talking about people who, only people who just talk hip-hop. They actually go to make it their business to make hip-hop meaningful and have landmarks in it. So shout out to everybody who I've mentioned and other people who I have not mentioned who's doing media in hip-hop. Why do you think it's important for us to have media outlets in hip-hop to report the real and not just go off of what is being given in society today?
The popular media, they're to me, they're just trying to tear down, the African Americans. You know what I'm saying? They just trying to tear down like our culture, period. You know what I'm saying? And they always want to, show bad images or, just mention everything negative, on these, big stations like, the NBCs and stuff like that, the news channels and stuff like that. But they never really talk about, positivity or show us in a good light, You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I believe that the hip hop media, like Doggy Diamond, you know what I'm saying? Likes to show, the uplifting of African Americans and, show like, also shows like the, like the positive side and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I rock with Doggy Diamond.
Yeah,
we need more Doggy Diamond.
Yeah, but we need to respect the original first. Because if it wasn't for Doggy Diamonds, a lot of my love for hip hop would not be there.
Mhm.
Him and Justin Hunt, he's another one. Combat Jack, rest in peace. Those are the three I think that taught me the most about hip hop or helped me regain my love for hip hop when I hated hip hop for a while. Like, they are very important to me personally. So I salute and support them 100%. With that being said, though, I want to take this same question to another level. How is hip hop like politics? And political parties, I mean, when I say politics.
I mean, how's hip hop like politics? I mean, like I said, earlier, hip hop is very powerful. Hip hop has a message. You know what I'm saying? And hip hop is very global, just like politics. You understand what I'm saying? And politics, they can make change. They make change, not can make change. They make change, just like hip hop makes change. You know what I'm saying? And I look at them both, like they're equal. You know what I'm saying? And look at all these young kids out here. You know what I'm saying? They follow these rappers. They do what they want to be like them. You know what I'm saying? And let's look at like my son. You know what I'm saying? With the
great my son.
With his political messages and with his marches and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He gets the young people involved. You know what I'm saying? And gets the young people out there marching and making change. You understand what I'm saying? And my son was, part of, a part, of the situation with George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? And making change. making change, to the police departments worldwide. You know what I'm saying? And that right there was the power of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And just like politics, you know what I'm saying? Politics can make change and hip hop makes change. Hip hop can do some real damage and some real good.
True. It can. It really can. And yeah, that's why we see a rehashing of edutainment and street knowledge. And now people are really trying their best to try to break it. Even with the Nick Cannon issue going on right now, that was a perfect segue to get people to start turning on each other instead of appreciating each other and fighting the real evil that's going on in the world. So I hope we don't lose focus. We continue to stand for the people who are out there doing good things, and we don't get into hate speech or anything that turns us against each other. With that being said, I have to ask you another question. Through the growth of hip-hop, you've seen the remix come, and unfortunately it went. And the remix is when we added music, changed music, added rappers to songs, or even redid the whole song to give it new life. My question is, in your experience in hip-hop, what's the greatest remix of all time?
All right, say the whole question again.
What is the greatest remix of all time?
I got so much in my head.
Yeah.
I don't even want to answer that question.
What? Come on. You gonna bow out? Don't be the first person to ever bow out.
Because you know what I'm saying? You saying the greatest, you know what I'm saying? And
why not? Hey, it's your opinion.
It's gonna be like, yo, well, why you say me?
Hey, tell them come on Heritage Hip Hop. Everybody wants to come on Heritage. Who wants to, you're welcome. And if you don't pick your song, come make your case on heritagehiphop.com. My name is Karev, and you can find me at heritagehiphop.com, Heritage Hip Hop Instagram, and also you can contact my partner Fatty's Place at Fatty's Place on Instagram. What's up? What's the greatest hip hop remix of all time?
I'm gonna bow out on that one.
Oh, everybody, we have the first time we ever somebody took an L on Heritage Hip Hop. Rob B. Singer Savage took an L on Heritage Hip Hop. So all y'all people out there, NYC and everything, who's gonna step up from the culture to help them reclaim the victory after taking this L? It's a wrap. You took the L. I'm gonna send you a shirt with an L on it. That's crazy. He bowed out. Okay, so now you're gonna like this questioning. The next question is, right, because there are people who back in the day in the 80s and early 90s, features were hard to get because record companies did not want to share money and have artists do songs with each other. You know, it was a big deal when Hollywood Burn came out. It was a big deal when the Juice Crew did their thing. You know what I'm saying? And nowadays the feature is too overdone. You know, everybody's hugging and kissing and being on everybody's song is corny. I want to be honest with you though. There's been certain feature artists that stole the show from the main artist. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. My next question to you is, who has the greatest feature or guest 16 on any song in hip hop?
You know, you're gonna hate me right now.
No, I'm not. Say it.
But, you know, I'm feeling 6ix9ine and Nicki.
Yeah, I'm gonna hate you.
That feature together, I love that record, man.
Okay.
That's my joint. That's my joint right now, yo. I bump that every day.
6ix9ine and Nicki. Okay, well, all right.
I mean, I like that song.
That's what's up.
I like it.
I cannot fault a person for what they like. That's not my job. Whether I like it or not is not the purpose. You know what I'm saying? So, personally, if that's your joint, everybody out there that's listening like Nicki and has 6ix9ine, you got somebody else on here, Mr. Savage, who loves you, who rocks with you. And that's what's up. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Everybody deserves to be heard. It's just what you do with your power when you get it. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for everybody, not hating on anyone. So with that being said, here goes the next question. If you had the opportunity to make your perfect song, who would you work with? Dead or alive, no restrictions. Who's doing the beat? And who's featuring if you have any?
MC Light.
And who's doing the beat?
I would say.
Come on, you got the hip hop movement. You could reach out to anybody and they're gonna say yes. Who you got doing the beat? Wow, that many people, huh?
I would say Diamond D.
That's a great choice. Diamond D's a legend, man. Diamond D makes great beats, yo. His last, the Dime piece, that last album, that was a great album. Nah, we gotta give Diamond D his respect. But I want to ask you, are you using early MC Light or MC Light when she made When in Love and started dancing? Which one?
When what's that whole thing again?
I said, which MC Light in her career are you using? Early MC Light or using the one when after she made When in Love and she started dancing?
Early.
Early MC Light. Okay, man, that's you. Okay. Hot damn hoe, here we go again. Beat biter, don't stop taker. I got you. Okay. That's great. I want to ask you 2 more questions, and then we're going to finish out. The next question is this. Put on your wise old man hat, because you're not an old man yet. I'm talking you in your 90s, 85, 90. What is the future of hip-hop, and how does it protect itself from being extinct?
I don't think hip-hop will ever die.
Okay.
I don't. Because it's always changing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, like now they have like the mumble rap, you know, and you see where hip hop came from and where it's at now. And these younger kids, you know what I'm saying? Each generation, they're into hip hop. And I don't see hip hop dying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 30 years ago they said hip hop, you know, was gonna be dead. Hip hop was gonna, you know, it wasn't gonna be around. Hip hop is still here 40 years later.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I honestly do not see hip hop dying. Hip hop is the biggest genre in music right now.
That's right. I never seen jazz be as big or R&B be as big. I mean, hip hop is so big that it's used as a scapegoat to why people are deemed ignorant. China banned hip hop, and one of the biggest Chinese hip hop artists said, and one of the biggest hip hop artists in China said he regrets being a hip hop artist because hip hop taught him how to be disrespectful. And you know, and just like Mark Wahlberg did, they use hip hop to rebel, and then when they go back to their roots, I was crazy, and that's nigga music, unfortunately. And I hate that that's what happens, but I agree hip hop won't die, especially when we have people like you, my son, Kendrick Lamar, Yandy Smith. We have people who are fighting. Oh, Janelle Monáe. We have people out there fighting for righteousness in the world, and hip-hop is the grounds and means and the tool in which we could reach the world and let everybody know we exist and that our issues are issues that should be addressed. So shout out to all of you included in that movement. So the final question of this interview is the main question I ask every first interview. So that means the door is open for you to come back at any time to Heritage Hip Hop whenever you want to do the Mic Council for one. You have new music too, and there's other things that you would like to talk about and you would like an outlet. So the main question is this. Unfortunately, there's going to be a day when you're going to pass away and you're not here on the earth no more. Before we continue, may the Most High bless you so that day does not come anytime soon, especially during COVID and the injustices in society. Let's play that out there first. But 1,000 years from now, there's going to be something that happens where a child has to do a report. And they go to a museum and they see a picture of you in the museum. And it says, the Honorable Ron B. Stinger Savage. And they have your papers, articles, music, I don't care, your sneakers, whatever you did to encapsulate your life is there. And they read a book about you or they see that exhibit. My question, Mr. Savage, is this. What is the legacy you left on the world that made the world better because you did music and you walked your walk?
Truthfully, honestly, you know, I want people to remember, you know, I came from hip hop, and hip hop has a voice. And coming from hip hop, you know, I used my voice, and I used my voice in a way that will last a very long time. And I'm going to say this, and I know, you know, I'm going to mention this. You know, I was molested at a young age, and I fought for the Child Victims Act. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's something that I want people to remember. You know, when you remember me, is that you have a voice, and to use your voice. I took my voice and I've done something positive. I was a part of the Child Victim Act. You know, bringing the age up from the age of 23 to the age of 28, and criminally and monetarily bringing it from the age of 23 to 55. And that's huge to me, and that's what I want people to remember.
So no matter what you go through in life, everyone, you always have a voice, and your voice matters. So remember to always speak up. Fight for injustice, fight to be heard, and fight for positivity, because our voices make the world better by representing not only our struggle, but giving empowerment and power to the people who may struggle, who don't know how to say what they're going through, or even know that there's people who they can relate to that have talked and given strength to the world through their speech that can add to their own. With that being said, this is Karez of Heritage Hip Hop with the Honorable Ron B. Stinger Savage of the hip hop movement saying peace, and we out.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast. Ron B. Stinger Savage is taking hip hop from the corner to being a council person when it comes to writing laws and fighting for people, children, just the same, who may have been sexually molested in society is a big deal. If hip hop is the voice of the people, where those who are in pain need someone to speak up for them, then his movement in the government is a way to get people to be heard who have been touched the wrong way, be it psychologically, physically, or spiritually. So we salute Mr. Ron B. Stinger Savage for getting into politics and helping change laws for people who are victims and giving the victims a chance to be heard. Salute to you. And for anybody out there who has been wronged physically, mentally, sexually, please find the help that you need by contacting the right people, medical, whether you're psychologically are there to help or even physically there to help, because that is a very serious thing. And one thing about being a victim is when you're victimized, you feel alone. You never have to feel alone, because there are people there waiting to help you. All you need to do is tell them that you need the help and accept it when it's offered to you. So to everybody out there that's been hurt, may you be healed in the Most High's name. And may the good hearts of the people out there who are willing to help them offer their assistance to you, and you accept it. This episode of the Heritage Hip Hop Podcast was brought to you by Transparent Credit Repair, the superheroes of the financial and credit repair world. If you're looking to change your financial outlook by cleaning your credit, contact them at www.transparentcreditrepair.com, or you can call them at 862-250-5122. This episode is also brought to you by Heritage Hip Hop. So you can subscribe to our website, www.heritagehiphop.com. And this month we're doing a special giveaway to everyone who subscribes to the website. We're doing Jersey Series Part 2 featuring the 050 Boys. That's right, you get this playlist comprised of Prince Ott, Reek, and True Triller, the 050 Boys, given to you by Heritage Hip Hop by being members of our website. So sign up and get the greatest playlist out right now. And for a limited time, we have a special thank you to everybody who signed up to the playlist for this month. Before we get out of here, we'd like to say thank you to our team, Fatty's Place, the virtual assistant, Fire Jaws, our MC resident who does promotion, placement, and marketing, Lex Diamonds of Diamonds Entertainment LLC, that's DIEMENZ Entertainment LLC, and Big A, the host of the Big A Show. Season 2 coming soon. Stay tuned, and you can see Season 1 on YouTube at AHDAYAR, that's IDR on YouTube. Season 1's in the books. Season 2 is going to be great. Make sure you stay tuned and watch for it. For everybody out there that's listening, this is August. This is Heritage Hip Hop Month, and we have the Heritage Hip Hop Awards coming on August 29th. Please stay tuned to our Instagram and our social medias for more. We have the Project of the Year, the Artist of the Year, and the Govmatic of the Year awards coming out this year, August 29th, 2020. So make sure you stay tuned for more information to come. With that being said, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you. As we've gone over 50 episodes, and we're looking to go 50 more. So when episode 100 comes, we pray to have a studio audience and y'all to be there with us. Thank you for tuning in. We say peace, and we out.